Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Okay. Hola. We're going to move real quick. Okay. We ain't going to keep y'all too long. First things first. Sheamus is injured, shoulder injury. So he has been removed from the tournament, and it is undetermined as to who LA Knight's opponent will be. I imagine that Nick Aldis and Adam will come up with something. But I would have had two people competing on SmackDown today. So yeah. But we didn't get that, and it's okay. It's cool. It's cool. It's no biggie. But Sheamus is out. Unfortunately, he is injured. It's very sad. I was looking forward to seeing Sheamus facing off against LA Knight, but to be honest, I'm glad he didn't win the tournament. I didn't want him to win the tournament. I'm not glad he's injured. I'm just glad he didn't win the tournament. Moving on. We had a couple matches that I want to get out the way before we get to the segments. Okay, before we get to the segments. Ilya Dragunov had a match against none other than Judgment Day's JD McDonough. Now, these two have had a storied past, so them competing against each other in this match wasn't that bad. A bad decision. It was an instant gonna be a good match right out the gate, and they, for the most part, lived up to that expectation. Both men excelled in this match. They both looked great. They both performed well. I have no complaints. But currently, now, the champion still is Ilya Dragunov. And for some reason, Ciampa has a hard-on for this United States Championship, especially now that Dragunov has it. And because Dragunov refuses to give him an opportunity at it, he seems to be continuing down this path of waning himself away from Johnny Gargano and focusing strictly on the United States Championship. So I guess eventually we will see the breakdown of DIY and the rise of Ciampa and, of course, Gargano as individual singles competitors. Hopefully we'll see that soon. But for now, here we are. Okay. Now, let's get to the next match. The next match on the card, speaking of tag teams, was Ciampa and Gargano. This match was okay. They were going up against Axiom, Fraxium. It was Fraxium they were going up against. It was Axiom and Nathan Frazier. In this match, they distracted the referee long enough to allow Candice to get involved, and then Gargano took off Axiom's.
Candice did.
Candice did it. Candice snatched off his mask, and they still have it, by the way. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I want them to stop using that as a trope. It's very, 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 very disrespectful. Please, please, please do something else. Like, y'all don't have to do that to get heat. People just don't naturally like you. So You don't have to do all of that, but it is what it is. Um, Hello, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Any Hoosies. Unfortunately for Axiom, the distraction and of course with his face being exposed, that caused them to lose the match, and Ciampa and Gargano walked away with the win. And Axiom Mask, for whatever reason, I just don't like it. I think it's just cheap. It's a cheap fucking way to get a win, and I hate it. So we had two of the last of the first round tournaments happening on the show today. Let me see if I can pull up the bracket, because they always put the bracket on TV but never give out the graphic nowhere, and I hate them for that. So the first match we saw was between Carmelo Hayes and Bronson Reed. I'll get to that match last because it'll lead into what happened at the beginning of the show. So let's go to the second match in the tournament. This was the final matchup in the tournament. Finn Balor was going up against Penta. Decent match between the two men, but Finn Balor could not contest against the Mexican Destroyer. He got laid out. Match was over. Murder, she wrote. Penta advances. And of course, Finn Balor is out in the cold again. Then we have Carmelo Hayes facing off against none other than Big Bronson Reed. Big bitches. So in this match, I was rooting for Carmelo. He is my pick to win this whole tournament. I want him to win. And of course, I'm excited to see how this is all going to play out later. But Monday is the quarterfinals. And the quarterfinals will have Carmelo Hayes facing off against Gunther. Now, the way that Carmelo Hayes won this match was very simple. You see, in the beginning of the show, the Vision kicked off the show. And they decided that they were going to be out there, not big meaty men slapping beat. Y'all wow. They decided they were going to go out there and try to talk for a long time. And I don't understand why, but they tried. The Usos interrupted, and Paul Heyman basically told him, we got the numbers game and y'all don't. You should have been paying attention when I was teaching y'all that. And the Usos was like, nigga, we learned everything we know from you, bitch. We ain't come here alone. And then Cody's music hit, but Cody didn't come out. And you know Cody love a good moment. So I was like, Drew McIntyre done attacked him. And Drew did, because Drew is still suspended from SmackDown. But he's not suspended from Raw. So he can go to Monday Night Raw and be in their ring and fool la la around backstage with them. But his ass can't set foot in an arena for SmackDown or do anything SmackDown related. So what did Drew do? Drew went to the bus and beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes on that bus. Okay, beat the brakes off that nigga. Left him laying in the outside where the steps at, laying down in the doorway of the bus, bleeding and everything. I said, God damn, Drew, you could have let him live a little bit. Shit. No, he whipped his ass. You understand me? Child, they got the fighting. Sorry if my microphone got messed up, but they got the fighting out there. And the Usos went back there to go check on Cody. And of course, they was laughing at him like, he, ha, ha, ha. Well, the next match was Carmelo and Bronson Reed. And Bronson Reed didn't really get the drop on Carmelo until Logan Paul got involved and took away Carmelo Hayes' momentum. This led to Bronson Reed getting the upper hand, and this how he was getting beat down. Carmelo was getting beat down in that match. But he was able to evade having the tsunami. However, the numbers game was becoming a problem. So Paul Heyman decided to distract the referee and allow Braun Breaker to take out Carmelo very quickly so that Bronson Reed could advance, but that didn't work out for him because the Usos was there to serve him with a super kick, and of course they was distracting Logan Paul long enough and got them out of the arena so that Cody Rhodes could take out Bronson Reed and give the W to Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes would have advanced if Logan Paul had not interfered in the match. So if you ask me, an equal counterweight of Cody Rhodes cancels out Logan Paul. And it was all left up to chance. But after suffering a crossroads and getting his ass whooped. I mean, unfortunately for Bronson Reed, he couldn't make it to his feet for the 10 count. So it was a 1, 2, 3, 10 game over. Winner, Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes advances into the quarterfinals. But his quarterfinals opponent, Lord have mercy, Jesus, is none other than one of the greatest wrestlers of our era, Gunther. Yeah, babe. It's like you get rid of one brick wall and you find a new one, baby. It's just terrible. It's terrible. Now they might put Santos Escobar in that tournament. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't had Santos back yet. And they might put his ass in that tournament.
Santos still there?
He came back. He decided to resign. He almost didn't, but he decided to resign. So now, thank you. Somebody posted the bracket. So sweet. It's so nice. I knew I would find it. It's so nice on Twitter, ain't they? It's so sweet. Anyway, so the tournament is as follows. Okay. Carmelo Hayes will face off against Gunther on Monday, and Solo will face off against Penta on Monday. And I assume on Friday, Jey Uso and Rusev will have their bout. And then Friday, you'll have LA Knight face off against whoever Nick Aldis and Adam Pierce decide. I almost called him Cole. Pierce decide to go up against LA Knight. Now, if it was me, I would take the losers out of each match and have them compete in a battle royal and then let them, proceed forward. You know what I'm saying? And pick one of them, that's how I would do it. But everybody ain't like me. But here's your bracket. Y'all can guesstimate who is going to win and face off against John Cena. Now that we done got that out the way, these two were not on SmackDown today. Neither was CM Punk. Don't know why. They just weren't. However, the final aspect of SmackDown was all about filling out the slots for the women. So throughout the show, we saw Charlotte and Rhea Ripley finally bury the hatchet, or at least put it to the side for now. And they sat down and had a conversation. Rhea made it very clear that while she understood what they did to each other a few years ago was all about proving who was the better of the two. And she said, I'm sure that is going to come up again. But she said, there's nobody I would rather go to war with than you. You, your competitive spirit, the nature of you, you're one of the greatest warriors we got. And I need you for my team. And Charlotte basically said, yes. And then Rhea said, okay, you can trust me too. And they buried the hatchet for now. Okay. They went out there later on tonight and they presented a united front. Rhea made it very clear that she would go to war with nobody else other than her homegirl Io, the two new homies of Bliss and Charlotte, and then this new addition, which happened to be none other than y'all favorite wrestler, AJ Lee, or your wrestler's favorite wrestler. Then the girls got attacked. Nia decided to put some clothes on today. On Monday Night Raw, she just came out there dressed like she was finna go take a nap. But today she decided to put on some clothes. And Lash looked like she was finna go to the Ice Capades. I don't know what was going on with her. She had they was in Colorado. It's a little cool in Colorado, but she had on the little faux mink hat and the little glove thing. I said, God damn, it ain't that cold yet. I said, girl, is you about to go out there and do a pirouette twirl into a 360 spin, bitch? What is you doing? But that's my girl. I ain't gonna give her too much. Because that's my girl. They all attacked her. Everybody. They came out there and they beat the brakes off of Charlotte. Now, when AJ Lee figured out what was happening, she ran down there and then she ran into Becky, just knocking her to the ground, which Becky weighed about she got the weight of a whisper. So I don't know how she was able to knock that bitch over, but she did. But I guess if you're thinking about momentum and force, right? Somebody running at full speed and then you hit them, you're going to get them good. You feel what I'm saying? So maybe it was more about her being able to hit her at the right time and not necessarily throwing her weight into it. You feel me? Anyway, they beat up the girls and then Becky came in there all dramatic, shaking hands and shit because she done joined the team. We was like, bitch, we knew you joined it. Okay, look, I told y'all. Y'all got to stop sleeping on me. I knew this was happening the moment that fucking it was right when what's her face? Maxine said she found somebody to train her. I knew then that it was gonna be AJ Lee. The reports had came out about AJ Lee and Becky being the ones to join the team, and I was like, okay, I don't know how they're gonna set it up, but I figured it out once Maxine started talking about she got a coach, and I said, okay, I got it now. I said, a mess. I knew she was going in there. I wasn't surprised. I know she wanted to be a part of War Games. If you was a diehard wrestling fan like her, and you was one of the best in the business, like they say, you would want to be a part of that too. Plus, the women have been able to do more and have more freedom, and you ain't existing in this world now. I would do it. I would do it hands down. You feel me? I just want you just not gonna be putting me through no tables and shit. You got to be crazy to be a wrestler. You have to be crazy to be a wrestler because the amount of pain that you go through to do that shit is astronomical. Hats off to you bitches. But let me tell you something about Nia Jax's ass. That bitch nasty. Okay? She was in there doing that annihilator on Rhea Ripley like she was fucking her to death. That's nasty. You's a nasty bitch for that. We did not need to see that. It was little kids watching. You just bouncing on imaginary dick in the ring. You're nasty. You're nasty. Respect yourself, nasty bitch. You're just nasty. Anyways, Saturday, if you want to get a little break from WWE and watch some really fun, cool wrestling, AAA has their show. And the show has a bunch of matches on it. Okay. Why you gonna be like that? I say I'm qualified. I'm qualified. All that you need in your life. How the hell am I? I'm overqualified. Okay, sir. Here is the match card for tomorrow's show. Dominic Mysterio is facing off, and Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano are facing off against Dragon Lee and El Hijo del Vikingo. Okay, the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships are being defended. Chelsea Green and Ethan Page will defend against Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana. La Parca versus Galeno del Mal, Psycho Clown Pagano, Dave the Clown, and Murder Clown versus El Miesas, Forestro, Mecha Wolf, and Sanso, and Octagon Jr. versus Javon Evans versus Axiom for the number one contenders match for a AAA Cruiserweight title shot. Javon Evans is the hardest working man in wrestling right now, having went through a brutal match with Gunther, an even harder match with Dark State, and now having this match. That man has wrestled at least 3 times this week alone, and that is outworking just about everybody on all 3 rosters. 4 if you include TNA. It's nuts, okay? But those are all the matches that are happening tomorrow. I'm going to be watching that at my leisure and having a good old time because I love AAA when it's fun and it's high octane and interesting. I like watching AAA. So I'm going to watch it. It's going to come on YouTube. So you don't have to worry about paying for a subscription or anything. It's on YouTube for free. Okay? So on the YouTubies. Now, NXT Gold Rush continues next week. And John Cena will be announcing his picks for the Iron Survivor Challenge matches that are happening at Deadline on December 6th. Okay. Deadline is December 6th. Okay. On Saturday, they're going to be in San Antonio, Texas. And there are going to be a couple matches. Ricky Saints is facing off against Obafemi. And I guess this is one last time for that NXT Championship. All right. And we have the 2 Iron Survivor Challenge matches. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably have some other stuff going on as well. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is all. Okay. Wow. It was so much going on. Okay. So much going on. But SmackDown was a good show. If you missed it, you really missed out on some really good matches and some good setups. They continue to set up War Games for the men. I imagine the advantage match will be Monday for everybody, or they'll have the advantage match for the women on Friday or whatever. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but Monday they should be setting up for War Games and having the advantage match for one and moving into the advantage match for the other. We know that John Cena is facing off against Dominic for the IC Championship. And we also know that Nikki Bella has terribly acted her way into a title shot against Stephanie. So we got that, okay? But we know that everybody's going to be all hands on deck this next week because it's leading into Survivor Series, and Survivor Series is the final PLE of the year. So they're going to have to go out with a bang because there's no other way to do this other than to go out brawling. Now, the advantage matches should start next week. We should get one on Monday and then one on Friday, right before Survivor Series. So hopefully we'll see what's going down, and I will have the storyline recap for all of you up by next Wednesday. That way you can kind of understand how these War Games matches were built, why each person was chosen to be in there. Some of them are randoms. Others actually should be in there. Okay, so I'll get all that stuff done for you this week, and I hope you guys enjoy AAA tomorrow. It is going to be on their YouTube channel. Over on YouTube, you can watch it for free, and I will see you guys then. Okay, I might go live and talk about it afterwards. And then Monday night, we'll do our regularly scheduled programming. Wednesday, we'll do predictions for Survivor Series, go over all the matches. And remember, this is going to be one of Down for the Count's very last live, one of their last shows for the year, because we always go on hiatus after Survivor Series. So remember that, because we're going to be gone for a little bit. We're taking off for the holidays, and then we'll be back in January just in time for the Road to Royal Rumble. All right. So, just so y'all know, Full Gear is also tomorrow. AEW Full Gear is tomorrow, and they have a fully stacked card. The match that everybody is probably talking about is Mercedes Moné facing off against Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's Championship. And if you ask me, Chris Statlander should retain. But that's just me. We'll go over it, but hopefully we will see who wins, because this match is supposed to start, or the show is supposed to start, I think it starts at 7. I'm not sure. But Full Gear is Saturday as well. So let me give you guys the card for Full Gear right quick, just in case you want to know. For the big matches, Samoa Joe is facing off against Adam Page. And this is going to be in a steel cage match. And it is for the AEW World Championship. Mercedes Moné is facing off against Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's World Championship. The AEW World Tag Team Championships are on the line. I don't understand why Brodito is facing off against FTR, but whatever makes you happy. Kyle Fletcher is defending his TNT Championship against Mark Briscoe in a no disqualification match. Stipulation in this match says if Fletcher wins, Briscoe joins the Don Callis family. What the fuck is going on? Oh. Well, this is interesting. 2 members of the Hurt Syndicate are starting off the Full Gear Casino Gauntlet match. The winner of that match will determine the first ever AEW National Champion, and Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are facing off against each other. Interesting. Jon Moxley is facing off against Kyle O'Reilly in a no-holds-barred match. Does Jon Moxley ever do a regular match?
No.
Does he ever just do like a regular match where there's no extra stipulations? Like, does he ever do that? Because I swear to God, it's been like months and I have yet to see that man just go in a one-on-one bout where he doesn't have to bleed or do anything fucking crazy. Like, what's going on? Anyways, Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express are facing off against Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. They're calling this the $1 million match. I don't know what that means. So, you guys figure it out. Pac is facing off against Darby Allin. There's no stipulation, so I imagine that's a regular ass match. There's a fatal a 4-way tag team match. Winning team picks semifinal match stipulation. So whoever wins gets to pick the stipulation for the semifinals match. And these teams are as follows. Oh, sorry. Marina Shafir and Megan Bain. Toni Storm and Nina Shirakawa. Brad, I can't see this. What does that say? What is Haley and Willow's name? Because I cannot see what that says. Is that Babes of Wrath? Babes of Wrath is some crazy shit. My eyesight is killing me. I'm like, what is that? What is it? Says Babes of Wrath on the damn thing. I can't see worth a damn. Then we have the Tailgate Brawl 4-way. The $200,000 Tailgate Brawl 4-way. You've got the Bang Bang Gang, Big Bill, Brian Keith, and you have Anthony Bowens and Max Caster who have reunited, and the Outrunners all in the Tailgate Brawl 4-way. And this is all the AEW Tailgate Brawl. This is all happens before the Full Gear show. So Big Boom Justice, and they call him Boom and Doom, are going up against RPG Vice. El Sky Team is going up against the Don Callis family. And this is for the CMLL Trios Championships. And then we have Eddie Kingston and Hook facing off against the Workhorsemen. This is all happening on the pre-show. It's very ow. Fuck's sake. Hurt. It's very interesting that they have Okada and Takeshita over on the pre-show for one of their PLEs. It's wild. Anywhoosies, that is your full card for Full Gear. For those of you who are going to be watching Full Gear, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll try to give you guys the updated results when we go live after we get done watching AAA. All right. With all that being said, ladies and gents, I will see you guys tomorrow after the shows are over. Thank you so much for listening to me rant and rave about wrestling today. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. Check out our merch and consider becoming a member for exclusive perks, special emojis, and members-only content.